AFL SuperCoach 2026 team picker has dropped, and I'm here to give you a team that I have built, not based on it, making sure that it goes for the whole way of it staying that way, of just potential structure that we could look at. And we're going to give our early thoughts on some picks and prices and see what we can lean on as picks. G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach providing SuperCoach content for you, and we are back to do AFL SuperCoach content. And for the first time for 2026 AFL SuperCoach, going to be showing you a team that I have built. I haven't had much time to do this, but I just wanted to get this out for you guys and just give my very early raw thoughts on what I'm currently looking at SuperCoach wise. So sit back and enjoy. Make sure you chuck a like as we begin 2026 AFL SuperCoach. Comment down below your thoughts as well for your team as well, and what you're thinking, early vibes, and make sure you subscribe. I will be. I'm not going to say my overall goal for the off season is, because if I say it, it will be disappointing if it didn't pan out. So, but we'll be seeing a lot more different content over the off season for me, in season and off season as well. So, very keen to do AFL SuperCoach content once again for 2026. Hope everyone's had a good break. I think it is pretty important in SuperCoach to be having just a mental break from SuperCoach. NBL content, NBL SC content didn't come through in the end due to the move of Beat the Coach, which just didn't cater towards content on YouTube for me personally. EPL and NBA have been fun, but we get the big dog back in AFL SuperCoach. And I don't know about you, I'm going to say something controversial. The team picker comes out too early. We've got bugger all to base our team off. We're just going maybe structure. We're just probably prioritizing structure over players here. So early vibes, I'm thinking. I think we've got to load up onto the back line. Anything I say in this video, a lot's going to change between now and March, where there's going to be injuries, role changes that we don't expect. We're just going to it's all about reacting to the news and adapting to what's best for our team. So I'm going to give you a team, and there's going to be ones based on hope and thoughts and all that. So it's nearly been 3 minutes. One of my goals this year is to have my videos a lot shorter, so better start getting moving along. Defenders, well, or do we start in the forward line? I'm going to start in the forward line. Everyone starts back. So in the forward line, I think it's going to be a similar mindset for SuperCoach for me this year as well. We are going to be looking at value. There is one guy in particular in the midfield that, if I had to spend $600K on a player, I'll do it with him. But this will be my second most expensive play. It is Harry Sheezel. If he does continue to play that midfield role that racked him up 50 touches against Richmond up in Tassie, then I think we got just an absolute lock for potential top four forward. I'm saying that just in case he isn't. So, we're going to put Harry Sheezel in there. He seems to find our way into our teams every year and be good value, and except last year. But he just continues to find a way to be in our teams. I think a lot of that has got to do with the round zero, where North Melbourne aren't in the situation currently to be playing in it. Hopefully it doesn't last much longer. Really affects our ability to pick players. But, Harry Sheezel, we got to lock in. I wasn't too flash on this bloke, but we are going to go with him at this point in time. Sam Draper, if they do commit to Darcy Fort being the VFL ruck, even though I think he's more than capable of being the AFL ruck, then if he's going to be the number one guy, Sam Draper is certainly a guy we've got to be looking at. I'm thinking it might be a two-ruck setup, but maybe they might be too tall on the forward line with Oscar Allen, Sam Draper, Logan Morris, Eric Hipwood. So maybe there is hope that he is just going to be the solo ruck at the end of the day. So I'm picking. This pick is based on if he's the number one ruck. Sam Flanders, I think, just picks himself. We just got to monitor that back over the pre-season. They've paid him to make sure he's a midfielder, so that's fine. I'm going to chuck Adam Treloar in there. I really like the value in there for Treloar, 311k. I think he was 600 plus k last year. So he had a couple of years before last year where he was known for soft tissue injuries, but the past couple of years he was actually reverting the trend. But last year he just had a shocker run with his calf, so and soft tissue injuries. So Adam Treloar, if healthy, could he come off a halfback? Could he will he still be in that midfield? Remains to be seen, but I think a fully firing Adam Treloar at 311k is pretty juicy. I still think GWS's midfield, despite the acquisition of Clayton Oliver, can be a bit thin, where I think a Brent Daniels type could really benefit their midfield. Injury plagued last year, and this is where we look to find the value in certain players. So Brent Daniels, I'm happy to have involved there. And I think Phillipou, we're just begging for this bloke to just stay on the park, and no more sub to ruin him as well. But yeah, just really struggled to get through a full game last year. A lot in the VFL. There's still high hopes for the youngster. There was a player that I was going to have Leo Lombard in there, because let's be honest, some of the rookies it doesn't really matter with the rookies at this point in the off season. I will be doing rookie guides January, February, March with potentially a content creator. So that's when we really start eyeing in on rookies in pre-season, in my opinion, is when they're all back from Christmas. I don't pay much attention to pre-season news until they're back after Christmas, because I think it's just most of the fact of getting the players back, just moving the legs again. So anyway, cut a long story short, Todd Marshall, because there are rumours under Josh Curry, could be playing in defence, and we're going to add Devin Robertson. I think with Andrew McQualter at the helm, we've seen West Coast rookies just get changed around so often to where it just gets a bit, so I think we will see Devin Robertson feature at some point in the season, but who cares about rookies at this point in the year? We're just sort of hopeful on ones. Ruck line's really hard. I'm struggling to build a ruck line that I like. I've gone Shrek. If they fully commit to Jackson as a midfielder, to chop in occasionally in the ruck, but a fully fit Sean Darcy can outdo that price, but that is a massive risk. I've gone Toby Conway. If he can get over that back, surely it's time to take over Reece Stanley. We've been begging for ages, and maybe proves they won't need Rowan Marshall after all if he can just get rolling. And ruck, I don't really care. Vigo Vizentini is another one to keep in mind for that ruck spot early for Essendon, with Goldstein retiring, Draper leaving, Nick Bryan ACL. Don't know what, or is it? No, sorry, Draper Achilles, Bryan ACL, and so we just need to monitor what the go is in the ruck. And we're going to chuck Liam Reedy from the Blues now, because I think there is a real chance he can feature as that number one ruck for the Blues, and he would be a handy flex player. Let's go. The midfield's the juiciest line, so we'll save it for that. Save it at the end. Keep everyone watching. As I said with the back line, it feels like this every year, but it does feel like we need to load up a fair bit. I don't think there's too many that stick out to me as rookies to have on field. So I've gone Josh Dacos in the hope that he would move into the midfield. No guarantee, of course, but just more the hope, which opens up his teammate in Dan Houston, which is what I'm hoping to happen. Josh Dacos moves in with his brother in the midfield, and Dan Houston becomes his absolute best at being the main distributor of halfback for Collingwood. That's what he's best at, and hopefully we see that transpire. Nick Newman isn't as cheap as I would have liked, but I will chuck him in there. Just depends on what type of defensive role they're going to play him. Is he going to be more lockdown? How's he going to look after the injury? So that remains to be seen. Of course, we are in. Can't believe I forgot December. Sam Banks. He's a cheeky one to throw in there for the Tigers. So I know a lot of Richmond fans are pretty hopeful on him to really break out, even though he's a good player already, but to take that next level, take that next step. Could they put Jaden Short in a new role? Is he even in their best 22? That's type of thing, because the keys might get handed over to Sam Banks to where we become interested. So hopefully that's the case for Bendigo. And hopefully not bother about Jaden Short again. Colby McKercher, if they keep him in that same role, 449k is unbelievable and has that potential if he stays in that role. We know North Melbourne love their possession-getting defenders and running defenders. So McKercher's a steal there because he played the first half of the year in that Errol Goulden type of role, which he clearly wasn't ready for yet. And we're going to chuck Kadeen Coleman in there. We're just going to hope that he has a good preseason, and he's just been in our team picker for 2 years in a row, basically. And at an even cheaper price of 233k, there is potential of 200 plus k to make, if okay. And then on the bench, I've gone Dylan Patterson. I really like him in the draft, so he's sort of my guy. Everyone has their guy in the draft, so I've just gone with him. But we know there is a lot of depth for Gold Coast. And my boy, Jai Sarong, I think, can't believe it. Oh, my God, what am I doing? Sarong. Jai Sarong, 119k, real flex, got good versatility, can play on the wing, can play in defence, can even sneak up forward. I think he's going to be a really cheeky pickup for the Swans, and I'm disappointed as a Hawk to have let him gone. But I think he will thrive at Sydney. Now let's move into the midfield here. Now, the one guy out of all the 600k guys, Zach Butters, he is the one temptation above 600k that I'll go. Port Adelaide's run's a joke, mate. Like, it's Richmond, Essendon, Melbourne, North. It's insane. And I don't usually pick players based on captaincy, but he's one that we can lock in. No guarantee that I'm going to pick him. I could still swerve another way, but I think he's the one 600k guy that is really tempting me. I think guys like Bont, he's more expensive than last year, and he's got a early season buy. I'm just not doing that. A lot of these guys have the early buy. I think you've got Tristan Cherry as well. At 689k, those 687k, there is a lot of guys that I'm just not willing to pay that price for. I'm not paying that much. Gorn, no. Cherry, he's got a really good run early, but I just can't do it yet. Unless there's not enough ruck options, I'm not doing that. Second midfielder I really like is Errol Goulden, 566k. He has those spikes and lows, but after an injury-plagued 2025 season, after an injury in pre-season, I really like Goulden. LDU, I also thought he was going to be cheaper than this as well, but still don't mind the opportunity to pay that. 526k. Not sold on it just yet. Horn Francis I am, though. I know he's just a mid this year, not a mid forward like last year. But again, Port Adelaide's a really good run. So Butters is similar mindset to why I picked a Freo mid last year, was the good fixtures early. And so that's similar mindset with Zach Butters here. But Horn Francis at 511k, I think he's already injured from pre-season, but we just know a fully fit Horn Francis can really turn a game on its head, and I think he is a better performer than what he's currently priced at. I like Hayden Young as well. 389k. I think there'll be a little bit of half-forward stints every now and then, but 389k is really hard to refuse for Hayden Young. And I really like as well, potentially their Adam Chera of 2026. It is Darcy Parish. 34K. We're not expecting him to be a keeper. We just want a guy. Can he make 150K? I think it's very doable. If he can just string 8 games together, and we just have this pick until the wheels falls off, basically. We're going to pick a teammate as well in Dyson Sharp, who I think is going to be one of the best cash generators in the game. He's a ready-made mid for the Bombers, and I think he will be in the midfield straight away, as will this lad, Jagger Smith, who unfortunately did his ACL in pre-season last year, and he will be a big watch this season. And then we're going to go with the Grill. I think he could be a guy. How on earth do you spell it? How on earth do you spell it? Yep. The Grill, Sam Grill, 172K defender. I think he has the ability to straight away be in that halfback mix. I think they probably are in the market for another halfback that could do what Grill does, and hopefully he gets that opportunity. Will Brodie, Josh Carr recruited him for whatever reason. Because he worked under Josh Carr at Fremantle, and he really shone in that season when we had him as a forward. And then we're also going to go with Josh Smiley, and let's just hope those hamstrings can stay together because they've got a talented player there, the Tigers. So that's the team, 72K. I usually like to have between 80, 120K in my starting team for further adjustments for early season trading. So, structure-wise, overall, I'm thinking rucks are really tough unless you do what I do and go super cheap or you pay up. Forward line, I think we can add a bit of depth. There are a lot of mid-price forwards that I do like. Same in the midfield, I think we can, but also there are a couple of midfield rookies here that we would like to have on field as well. So we've got to balance it out. And backline, I think, like every season, we can just load up and get silly with it. So thank you guys so much for watching. That is the AFL Team Picker 2026 for SuperCoach. I'll be doing more content. Hope everyone's doing well, and we'll see you in the next video. Forgot to say cheers. Sorry. Cheers.